All right, we're back here at Metro Scene, and I am joined by Sabrina Elayne Carten of One Night with Janis Joplin, and this is your second time around, back by popular demand.
Well, it's great to be back at Arena Stage. It feels like our home, really. The show started in Portland, Oregon, at Portland Center Stage in 2011. It was the first incarnation of the show. We've been revised a bit. Yeah, a bit as we've moved forward, but each time we get together, it's better than the last.
So it actually changes a little bit, huh?
A little bit. You know, you fine tune and tweak and find new things that work. And, you know, even in the show itself, once it's done, it's different a little bit every night.
Well, let's talk about you first. Your background, you're from Bronx, New York,
Yeah,
huh?
I'm from the Bronx,
All
born
right.
and raised.
And you still live there.
And I
That
still
is-
live in the Bronx.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's special about the Bronx?
Me? No. Well, I don't know. It's home. When my grandparents, my mother's parents moved to New York from Virginia, they first lived in Harlem, and then my grandfather was a Pullman porter, and
wow.
he bought his family a home in the Bronx. And so we lived there while they were growing up, and then after we were born, my mom and all of us, we lived there. We just stayed in the Bronx. A few of my cousins, her brother, of course, moved out to Long Island, to the suburbs, but you know, we stayed in the Bronx. We like it.
All right. And you said that your mother was a singer also.
My mother was a classically trained singer. So we grew up listening to the Met broadcast in the house on Saturdays while we cleaned, you know. But she did recitals and things and was a church soloist. I'm a third generation Abyssinian from our church, and so our musical careers began there.
Okay. So you're trained yourself. And now, is there a little bit of your mom in you when you're up there on stage?
I think so. I think she looks down and kind of, girl, do it like this, you know. Open your mouth, give me some consonants so people understand what you're saying, you know. She talks to me in my head so that I remember technical things and try to keep it together.
People always talk about you playing in Porgy and Bess. And you were the Strawberry Woman, which I love that.
That's where I got my start.
That's
yeah.
right.
That was
And-
my first professional job, doing the
Wow.
Strawberry Woman in Porgy and Bess with the Chautauqua Symphony.
Okay. And then you played some other roles in Porgy
Yes,
and
I
Bess.
played Mariah. Well, I played the Strawberry Woman, I played Annie,
Okay.
then I played Mariah, and then I played Serena. But I like Mariah the best.
And Mariah is where people say you are the best.
I
at that
think
role.
so.
Okay. And why is that? Why is that?
Well, because I think Mariah has become this kind of speaky kind of role, and they was traditionally hired for aesthetic look, and they found someone in me who really sang. There were a few people that really sang. Elvira Green, when she did it at the Metropolitan Opera in New York, she was a real singer in doing Mariah. Carol, I can't remember her last name, she's deceased. She was a real singer. When I did my New York City Opera debut as Mariah, one of the first things one of the members of the Gershwin family told me was, "You sing, Mariah. You're the best Mariah we've heard since so-and-so." And I was like, wow. And it's interesting, a lot of the roles that Carol has done, I've done too. You know, some of the things that she did at New York City Opera. So it's kind of interesting. They were kind of mirroring each other.
And what is one of the songs from
Well,
the
she
Mariah?
does, her big number is Struttin' Style, which is a number where she addresses the drug dealer in the community, Sporting Life, and telling him, you know, I don't care if you sell, you know, this rot gut whiskey, but you can't sell this happy dust, which is heroin, to the people in this community.
All right. And moving on from there, you've done so many other performances.
Well, I did The Crucible with Chautauqua Opera and Mobile Opera, which was great. I love the book, of course, and Tituba is a very interesting character. The music was fantastic. You know, I like American opera. It's really, it can be stunning. It could be hard to listen to, some of them, but that piece is stunning. The music is just stunning. I've done a lot of work with the American Spiritual Ensemble, which is out of the University of Kentucky, which is a great group, 20 African American opera singers, all together singing, keeping Negro spirituals alive, doing concerts around the United States and in Europe.
Okay. Now, talking about these blues singers that you're portraying in Janis Joplin, you got Etta James, Aretha Franklin, Bessie Smith. Talk about that. How do you do it? Go from one of those personalities to another?
Ooh, well, sometimes it's difficult, but I think by the time
Just
I
the
change
wardrobe
my
alone,
clothes,
huh?
then I'm
Right.
into whoever they are. Once I put on the blonde wig, I know I'm Etta, and I think I did do a lot of research on each lady and her music and other women from the time period, not just them, because I wanted to have an understanding of what their lives might have been like on the road, doing this music business, being new to it, being taken advantage of, being celebrated, and most of them still living in poverty. Or you take someone like Bessie Smith, who could be somewhere singing in this town, but would have to drive 100 miles away to find a hotel where she could stay because she was a black woman. So that kind of pain, that kind of hurt comes into their music as well. And so I try to understand that and bring that to it too.
Which one do you feel is more like you, or you're more like?
Well, the summertime moment, of course, is my background. So I'm very comfortable doing that. But I love doing Nina, the Nina moment in Little Girl Blue. And the last moment with I Shall Be Released, which is more just me. It's not really based on a character. It is the essence of the blues singer. And so basically it would be all of those women rolled up into that one number.
Why do you think Janis liked those women so much?
Well, I think their music speaks to people. And spoke to her pain, spoke to her happiness, spoke to joy. It felt good to her. And that's what music does. You feel something from it. And that's why you like somebody, or that's why you like a certain song. And a lot of times, you pick a church. Yes, the preaching is great, but it's really the music that brings you into service on Sunday morning. And I think that music spoke to her soul and helped her stand up to live out her life out loud the way she wanted to.
Do you have a favorite part of the piece, or
Of the
favorite?
show?
Yes.
Well,
favorite
Ball
song,
and Chain is my favorite
really?
song.
Okay.
I don't sing it, but that's my favorite song in the show. And I love doing Spirit in the Dark with Mary. We have a
Yeah, I was
blast
going to
doing
ask
that.
you, working with Mary, how is that?
Well, she's okay. No, she's great. Working with Mary is phenomenal. Mary came into the show in Cleveland. She was actually the understudy. And our Janis got called away. And Mary stepped in at a moment's notice and went on. And we got to run through Spirit in the Dark maybe 10 minutes before curtain. And she just slammed it. And the chemistry is there and it works together. We can look at each other and tell what the other's going to do, and we can laugh. We're in tune with one another, and she's a dynamic person to work with on stage.
Okay.
So I got to keep up.
You kept up very well. Why have audiences embraced this so much? I mean, return, run.
I think a lot of people, of course we get, are they considered baby boomers that listen to her music growing up? I don't know.
And there are a lot of baby boomers
Yeah, and
around.
so they come in and they're dressed up and they're, I think they come in thinking, oh, we're gonna hear some Janis songs and it'll be like this. And then they see everything else. They hear the stories, they hear Janis's words and from her letters and her diaries, and look at her artwork and look at the interaction with the blues singer and find out things about Janis that makes them come back again. and tell people about it. And we've had younger kids there who are just like, oh, we love it, we're gonna go download some stuff.
I know. Yeah.
So you build a new audience base for Janis's music, and for Nina and Aretha and all of these wonderful women. You know, they come in and or they come in to see Janis and they're surprised that I'm there. So now this is a new audience coming in too that builds on this, and they say, well, I want to go and listen to some of that stuff too. So it's a very diverse group that comes together and sees this show. From, we've had children as young as 10 who come backstage and they're like, you are wonderful.
Wow.
And they're twisting their hair, you know, they can we take a picture with you? And they enjoy it. And then you have women who are like 70 who's like, I remember Janis when I saw her at Woodstock, or when I saw her in San Francisco. Mary nailed it, you know, and they're like 70 in their tie-dye and their bow in their hair and everything. So they go all out coming to this show. And
they hear this woman with this extraordinary range, Sabrina Elayne Carten, and they're just blown away, right?
and that's shocking. They didn't expect that. And some people go, well, we hadn't read about it, but sometimes we want to come see a show and not read the reviews and not be tainted. And when you came on stage, we were like, okay, this is great. But then when the bows happened, and it was just one person, we couldn't believe that. Said we thought it was several people. I said, well, that's perfect, because that's what you're supposed to feel.
All right, and I definitely felt it when I saw the show.
Good.
And, want to just congratulate you all for the second time around here at Arena Stage, and keep doing great things. We'll be right back in a moment on Metro Scene. Don't go away. Thanks so much.
Thank you.